Just, I'm biased, Austin, as a copywriter by trade, but whenever I often do work for large clients, I'm always struck by managers asking me when I write a headline or whether when I write some master copy in English, they will often come back with feedback where they talk about can you simplify the message in a way that is easily translated or adapted for other markets. Do you think that languages themselves play into the kind of complexity of adaptation, and how do you think that can pose challenges to brands?
It absolutely can. I guess taking each of those parts of your question in turn, I see the same as well, that marketing managers that are always looking to try and find very simple headlines, thinking that would be easy to translate. But the world doesn't work like that. The world doesn't have certain languages. I won't name them. I mean, German's an obvious one, but sometimes you find that there's a lot more words and letters involved in the headline or the copy than you would in, say, English or Spanish. So the idea of starting with a short, simple headline may seem like the right approach, but it doesn't always work out like that. I guess it always comes back to that key point around, well, what is the brand actually trying to say? And start from that perspective. And it's okay to sometimes dabble in the more creative or the more complex or something that's more distinctive and differentiating. Because often very simple headlines can be easy to potentially understand, but actually you don't remember them. And that's often part of the battle. And then it takes you into other territories. And the other territories can include things such as the use of well-known phrases or idioms and vernacular. And that's where years ago we used to talk about translation, but very few of us talk about translations these days. We talk about transcreation. We talk about the idea of what's the most culturally relevant way to say that. And we'll put some examples in during the course of this conversation where we can show how a certain phrase in English has to be adapted and changed to have the same meaning, but using completely different sets of words for Japanese or for German or for another language. And it's always one of those situations whereby you need to be able to understand and listen to what stakeholders are saying, but having the strength and the determination to find the right course through that's going to get to that required output for
Mhm.
the brand and for the communication without overly complicating it along the way. That's often one of the key things that we're always looking for when, particularly around headlines and language. I think that's absolutely key.